Hi everyone, today I will be doing a demonstration for you, showing you my digital painting process for painting this portrait. The software I use is Photoshop. I haven't actually tried any other digital painting software, so I can't really recommend one over another, but the brushes and features I will be using in this video are quite basic. So I'm sure you can follow along even if you use another software. I have started with a medium toned background, choosing a colour that will complement the skin colour. The model in the reference image I am using has a warm skin tone with yellow undertones, and if you look at the colour wheel you will see that purple is opposite to yellow. So the skin colour and face will stand out against this background. To begin with, I'll use the standard pencil tool and sketch out the head. So just sketching out the face shape and placing the features. I am trying not to copy the reference image exactly, I just want to use it as inspiration. As I am working, I routinely flip the image horizontally, as this allows me to spot any mistakes I may have made. Have you ever heard of using a mirror to check the accuracy of your drawings? Well, if you have, this is similar to that. The idea behind it is when you have been looking at the same image for so long, it tends to become normalized and you are less likely to pick up any errors. But as soon as you flip it, you see it from a new perspective, highlighting mistakes. I would definitely recommend using this trick. When using it for this picture, you can see I immediately noticed the head shape was wrong and corrected it. Once I am happy with the sketch, I will keep this as the top layer and add colours underneath the layer. This means I can still see my sketch over the top. When it comes to adding colour, I initially start off with a mid-toned skin colour and paint the whole head with it, and do the same for the hair. Next, I take a lighter colour and block out the parts of the face where the light will naturally fall. When completing this step, it is important you can recognise where the light source is for the picture and understand which parts of the face the light will naturally hit. So in this picture, the light source is coming from the top right. You can see the highlights are mainly on the right hand side of the face. I do the same with the shadows, taking a darker colour and blocking out the parts of the face that will fall under the shadows. So this is below the jawline, the left hand side of the face, in the eye sockets, etc. Skin is not just one shade of colour, it has lots of different colours in it: browns, yellows, reds, pinks, purples, greens, etc. So don't just use one colour and have highlights and lowlights of the same colour. Here I have added a pinkish colour where the skin can seem naturally more red. On the top of the left hand side of the page, you may notice splodges of colour. I tend to do this in case I want to come back to the same colour later on in the process, and I can just use the colour picking tool and pick the colour back up. And then I start building up and layering the colours, increasing contrast and adding more details over time. So I am darkening the shadows, adding more detail to the hair and adding lighter highlights. So far I have done most of this with a standard hard brush, but just reducing the opacity so the colours in the lower layers show through. I did use the Real Oils brush for the hair to give it a softer edge where it meets the skin. This part of the process is me just refining the image, adding more contrast, adding more detail, adding more colours. I will leave you with the rendering and refinement and catch up with you later on in the video. So for the background, I don't like it to be just one shade of colour. I like to add some highlights and lowlights in this piece. So I've added the shadows on the left hand side of the face, and this is because this part of the face is darker due to it being in shadow. So I wanted to make sure that the background that sits next to it, or behind it rather, was even darker, just to help that side of the face stand out. And the part where the light source is coming from, I like to make that a bit lighter, just to show that that is where the light source is from. So that's my digital painting process. I don't like it to be hyper realistic. I like to keep it a bit rough around the edges and for you to be able to see the paint strokes, and that's just the style I have. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.